In the last video, we covered regressions and how to choose a robust anti-regression strategy. In this video, I want to focus on late regression testing. By late, I mean it's performed at system or acceptance test stages. Now, regressions are a user's nightmare if released into production. Stuff that worked doesn't work anymore, and this can cause untold damage and frustration. Regression problems affect everyone: users, developers, testers, project leads. So regression testing done late in projects are the last chance to catch regressions, and it usually falls to testers to provide this safety net. Now, an effective anti-regression strategy prevents regressions both technically and from a business standpoint. Since time is limited, you need your business and technical stakeholders to help you pinpoint the areas of most concern. So the first and essential step in any approach is an effective impact analysis. This is a critical step in preventing regressions. Impact analysis helps developers and testers to understand how proposed changes risk undermining existing software. Done properly, it exposes potential side effects on business processes such as user journeys and user performance. If you are relying on late regression testing, impact analysis guides what you test and why you test it. A good impact analysis helps you target testing more effectively. Of course, any test at any stage can be a regression test when repeated, and we should encourage developers to use a test-first approach. Test-first approaches, like test-driven development, obviously, help maintain regression tests as developer code evolves. We can, with some forward thinking, approach late regression testing the same way. As a tester, getting involved in requirements capture, and especially in testing requirements, you will get to know which areas of the system are complex, critical, and error-prone. Not only is this a great steer for your system tests, the tests you create are also a rich source of regression tests. Regression testing deserves much more time than I have now, so I want to give you a set of 10 tips that I hope will help you do a great job. So, number 1, what is your goal with regression testing in the first place? Be clear to set realistic goals and the expectations of your stakeholders. Regression testing might not detect all side effects of changes. Ask them to help you ensure the most serious areas are covered. 2. You have limited time and need to prioritise tests for regression. Make sure you get stakeholders to identify the critical business processes and high-risk areas so they are covered. 3. Regression tests can lose effectiveness over time, especially in fast-changing environments. You need to review and refactor tests regularly, perhaps even daily. 4. Production data can be an invaluable source of data for comprehensive testing, but of course you need to scramble confidential information. Configurable data extraction will help you to cover key test areas with minimal data. Users have their own favourite cases, usually. Make sure you use their knowledge. 5. Regression testing can often be automated, but automation requires careful planning. You need to adopt some of the same disciplines as your developers, in particular version control of your test data and test code. 6. Automation doesn't replace manual testing. Tools cannot replicate the human observer. Great testers notice things that look out of the ordinary, and they have a nose for problems. Tools cannot replicate the human eye and brain yet. 7. The goal of regression testing is to demonstrate functional equivalence. That is, ensuring the new system behaves the same as a previous version. Now, you're not trying to find faults or please users. You are looking for mismatches between you and previous behaviour. 8. Software migrations, for example replacing COBOL with Java or another language. Automated regression testing is the critical activity. Now, what we've learned from that is that regression tests only need to achieve around 70% coverage in code to achieve success. Now, I mention this only to suggest developers are in a much better place to cover code in this way. If you can get your developers to collaborate with you to achieve good coverage, you might not need such a large system-level regression test. 9. Creating an automation regime after the software is built and tested can be difficult and expensive. A far better strategy is a test-first approach, even at the system or acceptance test level. A test-first approach builds regression testing into the natural workflow of your project. This ensures tests and test code evolves alongside the software under test, and test automation becomes a natural part of the process. 10. The behaviour-driven development (BDD) approaches and tooling supports a test-first approach. Now, BDD tools get attention because they can generate test code from Gherkin stories. But the big win is the team collaboration around requirements, stories and scenarios, and changes that have impact across stories. Being involved early can really help with impact analysis in real time. Many problems can be avoided if you can offer challenges as changes are discussed. Finally, here's a bonus tip. Consider using AI to help with your impact analysis. There are ways you can use the retrieval augmented generation or RAG approach to trace the impact of changes in requirements or Gherkin stories. Watch this space. I'm working on a tool that uses GPTs to significantly help impact analyses. So that's my 11 tips for regression testing. Remember, a strong anti-regression strategy combines prevention and detection, but both depend on a thorough impact analysis. A blend of human and automated regression testing can reduce regression risks and help you to deliver a reliable product. If you want to know more about the concepts I'm talking about in the Glossary of Terms videos, it will probably help you if you take a look at the Leadership in Tests online class that I created a year or two ago. It covers some of the topics in more detail and obviously provides more of a structured approach to explanations of the concepts, and also gives you some idea of how to do some of the things that I talk about. I hope you can take a look at it and get value out of it. The link is below, bit.ly/leadintest.